How you guys doing? You just tuned in to Rough House Radio with Cheryl B with Vibez Our Reality. And today, I have quite a bit of things to talk about. This is my grand opening to my first show. So thank you. Round of applause for joining in. And I have my daughter. I couldn't just share this moment with anybody else. So special. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be on the radio. So this is like a dream come true. So we have my daughter, Breyana Wilson. Introduce yourself.
Hey, it's Breyana here. And I'm here with my mother, Cheryl Bryant, on here on Rough House Radio. We finna tune in.
We already tuned in, but it's okay. I know you're nervous. So, for starters, I would like to say one of the main reasons why I started this broadcast is to give people a chance to have a voice. So if anybody would like to follow me and know exactly where I can be reached in inbox, you can hit me up on Facebook, Cheryl Bryant with a C, and also on Instagram, P Motivation. And I also have an organization as well. And on Facebook, I have a women's group, and it's called IWOP, which stands for Independent Women of Power. So enough about me for right now. So we're going to dig in and let's talk about what's going on in the world. So Breyana, my special guest. So you're 18 in 2023.
Yes.
And you graduated young last year at 17, which I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So tell me what life is like as a young teenage adult.
Well, life is very much different than it was, back in the days. Generation totally different. They're making it so much harder for these young folks out here. So, we just going with the flow, trying to do the best that we can, to get by. But it is a lot of young folks out here that don't have the motivation that they need to succeed. So we got to push that more on them.
And I think a lot of that is because of the music, and also, people don't have any morals or standards like they used to, back in the day. When I was growing up, my parents was old school, bless their souls, Anita and Henry.
Yes,
and a lot of people don't have the opportunity to have generational curse broke. And I think a lot of the issue, do you agree that, a lot of people don't fellowship in church these days, especially young generation, because they feel that they'll get judged. And believe it or not, I mean, it was hard to say, but a lot of them don't even believe in, God.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. And it's really hard to hang around people that don't believe and don't put all their trust and their faith into God. They feel as if, why is life like this? Why am I going through this? But we all have free will. We all make our own decisions. You can't put that on nobody but yourself. So if you want to change in your life, you have to make the change.
And I totally agree with that. And I think that, I think a lot of people, will help. I believe that a change of a mindset is a change of a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And I say that because people need to realize that this is not just a worldly thing going on. This is spiritual going on out here.
It's really
deep. A lot of people fight a lot of demons. And, everybody's always fighting something. I don't care if it's drug addiction, fornication, whatever, have you. Somebody's fighting something.
Everybody's going through something.
Exactly.
That's why you can't judge a book
by its cover. And, we kind of lose ourselves in this life, and it's kind of hard because a lot of people can't depict, like, who to trust. Are people really genuine? It's just hard. So you got to try to make the best decisions that you can.
Yep.
And there's no such thing as a mistake. It's about the decisions and choices that you make out of life that'll keep you going forward. And, if we all had an easy life, we wouldn't gain any knowledge or experience in nothing. Do you agree?
I definitely agree with you. Absolutely, 100%.
So, moving forward a little bit, you know, it's a lot of kids, you know, when you went to church in high school.
Yes, I did.
So, you know, thinking back to last year and to now, you know, what do you think that would improve the community for children, well, young adults around your age?
Well, first things first, it's all about how that person was raised.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever that person went through in their life, they're going to apply that. So, it's all up to that person to make a change. But as like a community as a whole, that's hard. It's really hard because everybody's mindset is just crazy. The way people think nowadays, the way people move, the way people act is very, very different. So that's going to be a process right there.
I mean, what do you think is the biggest problems? I mean, I know that mental health has a lot to do with it. You know, a lot of people suffer with mental health and don't get the help that they need because
Right.
they're in denial,
Right.
you know. And another thing, people lack common sense.
Common sense is not always common.
No, it's not common this day and time at all. I mean,
but a lot of people are hard-headed too. They just don't want to listen. You mean you can tell a person the same thing over and over and over again, but it's up to them if they want to listen. So you could try, but it's just
I mean, I don't believe in, you know, continuing to be a dead horse. You know, you can lead someone to water, but you cannot make them drink.
That's true, but if somebody don't want to be helped, they just simply just don't want to be helped.
Yeah, so I guess the best thing in that is, you know, people just really
Pray
gotta, yeah, you gotta pray. But I think that people really need to really get in tune in what's going on in the world today. Seriously. I mean, I think to resolve that would be to learn how to communicate. People cannot communicate effectively.
But it's not only just communication, but understanding as well. Because you could talk to a person all day, but if they're not understanding like what you're telling them and not taking it in, it's just like you're talking to a brick wall.
That too, and a lot of that has a lot to do with people comprehension.
Or some people just simply just don't care. They just too full of themselves. They're just all about themselves.
Well, I think a lot of that got a lot to do with their upbringing.
And their ego.
Yeah, that too. But to sum it up, you know, I just think people need to take a look in the mirror at themselves. And I feel like if you learn yourself first, before you can jump down anybody else's throat or say anything about anybody else, you have to learn yourself. And then once you learn yourself, you'll start learning and picking up on other people, you know.
But you're absolutely right. But social media has a big, huge influence on that because social media is not real. You think you have to have the newest shoes, the newest wig, the newest...
No, you did not the wig now.
I'm just saying, you don't have to fit in. Like, you don't have to fit in with a crowd that you know that you're not a part of. Just because you see somebody doing something that's not meant for you. Yeah. And you can't be jealous of that either just because what God gave that person don't mean that's for you as well. So
I think everybody just need to live their truth and, you know, find themselves. You know, it's kind of funny to me, you know, like a few days ago, I don't even want to, you know, call it out, but, you know, I feel that everything in the world is like mixed, chopped, and screwed, you know, and it comes from, we have to look at our leaders here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel that a lot of people in the church, you know, ministries, have a lot to do with the impact on the community. And then it breaks down into, you know, state to state, city to city. All of these people, you know, they're supposed to be leaders is not really being a good influence on the community whatsoever. To a certain extent, that's just my personal opinion.
And I agree to disagree with you. Well, matter of fact, I agree 100% because it is a lot of pastors out here that don't teach the right word, which lead people in the wrong direction. So you really have to know what you're looking for. And, God would tell you. God would tell you. But, you don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. Because that's a personal relationship.
You're absolutely right. And I think a lot of people, some people just go to church just to, be a part of something. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to be a part of something. Right. But if you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Just doing it just to do it, just to say that you're doing it, but not actually doing it just because you want to change your life around.
Yes, and I think I'm not a judgmental person.
Right.
I can't judge anybody because I'm not God.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. And, I feel that every day, throughout the day, individual is going to sin. Whether it's, cutting somebody off in the street or not helping somebody when you could possibly help them. Every day we're going to ask God to forgive us for something.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a thought, an action, whatever. People don't get it. And I think one of the biggest sins that we do is little, but when you can help somebody and don't help them, it's just mind-boggling. Yes. I see it every day. It's everywhere, but especially in the city of Portsmouth, it's bad. I try to help as many people as I can. I'm not rich, I can't, turn a loaf of bread into to feed millions of people. But I feel that if I can help somebody, it's a start. Whether it's with feeding them with, words of knowledge or feeding their body, the nutrient, I try to help as many people as I can. I'm not perfect myself, but, I'm just me.
And ain't nothing wrong with just being you either.
Yes, and I think a lot of people need to start, being
themselves.
Live your truth. I think that's the biggest thing people struggle with is living their truth.
Stop faking it.
Yes.
Just be real.
Well,
be yourself.
Some people stick to those saying you got to fake it until you make it, but that's not.
Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, but don't be something that you're not. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't lie to yourself.
Don't.
Yes. So,
Ms. Bryant.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your Motivational Plus?
Well, Motivational Plus, I put that together it's been around for a while, but I'm just now getting into it, trying to get everything together. But basically, it's to help those that are homeless or in transition of becoming homeless. Also want to have youth programs for the elderly, veterans, convicted felons to give them a second chance on a new path of life. But like I said, if y'all wanted to know more about me, tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. and it'll run. Showtime is from 6 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. So I really thank you guys for joining in, and I thank my daughter for coming. So have a good night and be blessed.